Good morning, Morning Musings by Melinda. Happy Monday to you. Hey, listen, I just got a text from a friend who got a rather difficult diagnosis, so I may not be my usual chipper self this morning, so forgive me for that. But the musings must go on, except that I've made a decision about them that I wanted to talk to you about this morning, and that is I've been doing musings every morning for over 10 years, whether they be in the written word or the spoken word, until recently when I gave up Friday musings. And I've decided that maybe I'm going to give up musings except for Mondays and do Monday musings by Melinda, because I'm moving into doing some new ventures and having some things that are happening for me. And, I have to do homework and figure out different topics and so on. And I don't want you to feel like I don't care about you. I love giving little spiritual lessons every morning, but I do have to put a boundary for myself and my limits as I age and things progress. So I hope you'll have an understanding that we will now be doing Monday musings by Melinda instead of morning musings by Melinda. Now, it happened again last week where someone came to see me who wanted to talk to a loved one on the other side of the veil, whose loved one gave me exact information, the name of who he was with in heaven and people that were pertinent on the earth plane and different facts and evidence that he was in fact real on the other side of the veil. But before getting in to see me, because it does take several months to get in here, she had visited another medium who told her predictions that were inappropriate about a marriage ending and time of it and why and things like that, which is my pet peeve and what aggravates me most about people in this business. No one can predict the future because God gave us free will. And if you could predict the future, why would you predict something that would cause someone to feel scared, upset, uptight, doubt themselves, whatever? That is just plain inappropriate. So people in this business, quit playing God. If you are a psychic medium and you're connected to God, you would never tell somebody anything that would scare the crap out of them. It's totally inappropriate, and it's why the Bible has said to stay away from people who do this kind of work. So once again, I have to apologize for people in my business that do things that are inappropriate. God would never tell you something that would make you feel afraid or doubt something that was important to you, etc. I just want you to know that. So speaking of God and the Bible, we are going to use the Bible today because someone asked me, what is heaven like? And I thought, well, what better way to talk about heaven than between the Bible and between what I do as a medium connecting people from one side of the veil to the other. So in John 14, 1 through 3, it says that Jesus is in heaven preparing a place for us to live, and that we'll have new bodies, and that Jesus builds houses in heaven, which is from Isaiah, and that we can build our own houses and inhabit them, as well as plant and eat from the vineyards. That's in Isaiah. And the truth of the matter is when I talk to people on the other side of the veil, they do indeed tell me that they might live near a lake, or that they, have things that are similar to the earth plane as far as living is concerned. So is heaven really real? Well, there are three meanings of the word heaven. The word heaven in Hebrew means God's dwelling place. The Bible says the Lord has established his throne in heaven and his kingdom rules over all. That's from Psalms. Well, if you talk to people who've had near-death experiences, they will talk about seeing a light, feeling bliss, seeing colors, feeling calm and peaceful, and maybe seeing beings that say it's not your time, go back down. There is a similar thread to some of that. I'll tell you what, I was married to a man in my 40s who had a brother who was dysfunctional, to say the least. He, was somebody that had a drug addiction. He had all kinds of issues. He lived out of a dumpster at times. There was a lot of issues for him. And I always encourage that man to forgive his brother and to give him some kind of a help with something, because it was a situation in the family that caused a lot of strife. Long story short, the man's name was Chuck, and he had a near-death experience. And when we went to Colorado to visit him, he said to me, "Oh my God, Melinda, Jesus is real. I saw him." So, there is someone who's down and out and stolen and done really awful things and said he saw Jesus. And that's my belief system, is that we all go to heaven. And that here on the earth plane, this is where hell is. This is where we have all kinds of challenges and issues and things that cause us to know that there's evilness amongst us. But maybe here on the earth plane is also little bits of heaven as well. When we look at a newborn baby's eyes, when we have kindness between us, when we give to each other, when we're without judgment, when we are in our natural state of spirit, which is lovely and beautiful and kind. So the second meaning of heaven is referring to the endless planets and stars and galaxies of the universe. As the Bible says, "When I consider your heavens, the work of your fingers, the moon and the stars, which you have ordained," which is also from Psalms. So the New Age is really the Old Age, because the New Age is always talking about the universe, but really I think it really means heaven. The Bible also speaks of an atmosphere that surrounds the earth as heaven or heavens in Genesis. So here are some things about what the Bible says heaven is. That there's no tears or pain, that all things are new, that we're in a perfect peace, that there are houses and vineyards, that there are fruitful gardens. And actually, again, as a medium who gives evidence that I'm talking to somebody on the other side, that is true. That is true. They may come to me with an ego attached so that they are familiar to the person or persons that are here to connect with them, but no one has ever told me it sucks over there. Now, where is it? Is it up? Is it around? Where is it? Who the heck really knows? I think it must be a different dimensional frequency, since energy is never created nor destroyed, and that is our soul. I think we must just do some kind of shift into a dimensional frequency out of the suitcase that we call a body. Remember that we're not supposed to pack up this suitcase with a lot of crap and inappropriateness and judgment and nonsense. We're supposed to unpack the suitcase with a lot of giving and kindness and love, and removing things from our karmic profile when we've suffered a great deal of issues, perhaps as a child. It's important to move through and not live out of our trauma body, because that's packing up the suitcase. When we unpack the suitcase, we get to heaven with a lighter load. That's purposefulness of being on the planet, pure and simple, just to get to heaven with a lighter load, just to be kind, just to be giving, just to be loving. Those are the ways that we get to that different dimensional frequency. So in partnership with the Bible, I think that heaven is real, and that I've been told by loved ones on the other side of the veil that they have a job, or that they are doing something that's significant from the other side. So to me, there's real life over there. In fact, to me, that's real life over there, and this is fake life here, because we have an ego that's created by the dynamics of our upbringing, an ego where our moms and our dads inadvertently, since they're raised by humans too, put things into our vibrational frequency, such as prejudice and fear and things that really don't count at all. So hopefully when you are thinking about heaven, you create the best heaven on earth that you can create within yourself by connecting to your soul and the source of who you are, which I don't care if you call God or the universe, Buddha, Jesus, or Allah. It's all the same. And I hope that you will understand why I'm going to start doing Monday Musings by Melinda. And I will be so happy to take any of your suggestions on what you'd like to learn. You have a great week, and we'll see you next Monday.